Struggling to get an efficient pull in the water, especially in freestyle and backstroke. These are probably the two strokes that we use on a regular basis. Most of our workouts tend to be with freestyle or backstroke, depending on your comfort level, of course. For a lot of competitive swimmers, this tends to be freestyle. We want to go longer distances. We have practices that are anywhere from 4,000 to maybe even up to 6,000 yards. But what you want to have is you want to have a strong, efficient pull. And many of us, if we get into a rhythm, we stop actually paying attention to our pull. And what we do is we end up just sort of letting our arms move through the motions, right? And so this is problematic because when we think about it, if we're just letting our arms just kind of lazily go through, we're not really going to get much of an acceleration forward. And we teach kids this. And so as we get older, as we start off very young in our swimming, all the way up to an adult, we start getting into this habit of not really pulling, not getting that strong pull. And that's what really makes a difference between an Olympian and just a recreational swimmer. An Olympian can really grab the water. You see those guys doing the 50-meter freestyle, right, at the Olympics. And their arms are spinning. But not only just are they spinning, they're really accelerating and grabbing that water with every single pull. All their muscles are engaged with every single pull. So how do we do this? What's the difference? Why is there such a change between a recreational swimmer's pull and a competitive swimmer's pull? Well, it's simple. When we talk about freestyle pull, we really are focusing on the aspect of trying to get people to have a good entry, right? Here, you want to grab, and we've talked about this before. We want to have a nice long paddle. We want to have that paddle from here to here. So here, and we're grabbing that water. But the mistake we make is when we tell kids how to do their pull, we tell them to have one arm opposite the other arm. And that is the problem. That's where the issues start to arise. Because if you have your arm out here, and then you're trying to just keep them away from each other, like the hands of a clock, that you're losing all that momentum. And this is the problem with momentum. It's you want to have the acceleration forward. So, a lot of times we tell kids to do this. We do 6-beat kicks on our side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But we lose. That's great for rotation. I'm not saying don't do that drill. That is a great drill. You want to do that drill. You want to get that rotation. Feel your body as it reaches forward. But instead, if you want to work on acceleration and getting the emphasis on really getting on top of the water, really pulling yourself towards the end of the pool, well, then we need something a little bit different. One of my favorites is called the bow and arrow drill. And this one I do tend to use fins for, so do not hesitate to put a pair of fins on. In fact, sometimes I'll even put a snorkel on as well, so that way I don't have to worry about the breathing. But what I want to think about when I'm doing my bow and arrow drill is I'm here, I come up, I have my arm in the recovery, and I'm ready to get that next stroke. I have my arm out in my catch, and see, I'm kind of got a bow and arrow style. So if I was straight up, that would be the bow and arrow right here. So I'm translating this into the water. I'm down in the water. I have my arm ready for the catch. I have my other arm high, all right? And that way, when I take that pull, I can grab the water. And this rotation allows my entire larger back muscles, my core, to really engage into each one of the pulls. So I can be here and pull and pull and pull, right? It's an accelerated motion because you drive the shoulders and the core into every single pull that you have forward. So you're here and you go boom, boom, Now, one of the things that you really have to think about here is not to let that arm stop back here. So as we finish the pull, we have to make sure we don't stop before we come up. You want to make sure you have that arm in that constant motion. Get up to that recovery position as fast as you possibly can. And then it's slow with the recovery after that. So power through and don't cheat yourself. Don't come short like a lot of swimmers who will come short and then come up. You want to still push that water behind, but not lose it. We've talked about this before as well. There's the option of flicking the water, right? If you flick the water behind you, then you lose that momentum as it comes up into that next stroke. You want to carry that energy. You want to carry the energy from that pull here into that next pull. And that way, every single stroke has that strong ability, all that extra bit of energy that you can take. And you match that with your kick, all of a sudden you are a machine. You're doing times, you're taking off time like crazy, but you're not having to actually work as hard as you were before. So you can actually reduce the number of pulls you take per 25 and aim for numbers like 13 or 12. That's always the goal. The 12 strokes per 25 is an ultimate goal for most swimmers in freestyle. This is the same for backstroke, same idea. So you're here, you want to come up, you want to get that recovery before you vroom, right? You come through the stroke, up, get that recovery, looking up at the sky or the ceiling, and then you vroom, come in and get that next pull to really accelerate yourself forward. These are some of the greatest ways to get past that roadblock that a lot of swimmers do find. So instead of just moving your arms, casually swimming, right, relying completely on our legs, we are able to then really get all this upper body strength into our pull. Boom, accelerate two, boom, accelerate two, boom. All right, whoa, sorry about that. So you really want to think about accelerating that stroke. Get that recovery, get it up, and then start that pull. Really drive your body into that next spot. So like I said, one of the greatest drills on the freestyle side is actually bow and arrow drill. Put on a pair of fins, maybe even a snorkel, that way you don't have to worry about breathing, and aim to count those strokes. Do your distance per stroke, your DPS, right? Distance per stroke, DPS. Think about counting per 25. The goal is to try to get between 12 and about 15. Depending on your efficiency, maybe you start off at 18. That's okay. That way you have somewhere to work. You have that measuring stick that you can get better and better and better. And that's our goal, right? We're trying to get better in the water every single time. Every single time we get in the pool, you want to really think about grabbing that water, boom, okay? Even when you're not doing the drill, think about where that recovery arm is before you take that next stroke. If you're working on backstroke, same deal. Don't pause down by the hip. Get that arm, finish the pull, and come up. You should see it immediately before you take that next pull. Your other arm is here. Boom, accelerate through. Boom, accelerate through. This will really help increase the efficiency, reduce your number of strokes, and you will just fly. This has been today's episode. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.